jeans.
It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And coming up, we'll see the dynamic Alvin Kamara. He was terrific a week ago. Well over 100 yards and several stops in the end zone. It's the Saints and the Vikings, next on Madden Football.
We are pleased, as always, to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Today, it's Week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here between the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Saints team as they interplay. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. The Vikings offense coming out for the first time, and in his 5th season leading this crew, coming off his 3rd career Pro Bowl nod, Kirk Cousins.
And it felt like it watching the game tape. He got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some. They threw it accurately. 1 touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Right away, they rack up 10 yards on their first play from scrimmage. Big article in the paper this morning talking about how they wanted to get chunk plays in the run game. Well, early on, there's a good one.
There is, and for guys on defense, they've got to remember the old adage. You've got to meet force with force, and if you don't, you get run over, as they did on that last play.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Running the jet sweep. This is Thielen with it. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. But defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. His throw incomplete. So this game here in London, the first of 5 games in the NFL International Series for 2022. We'll see the Giants and Packers here next week. Broncos and Jags at Wembley at the end of the month. The Seahawks and the Bucs, that'll be in November in Munich, Germany. First time a game's been held there. And then we wrap up down in Mexico City, November 21st. Cardinals and Niners from Estadio Azteca. A gain of 4, not enough. And it looks like punt time on their opening drive as it's 4th down.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop him well short.
Jordan Berry out to punt on 4th down. Deontay Hardy deep for New Orleans. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Fielded at the 20. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Now here come the Saints, about to begin their first possession, and the man in charge of this offense, his 8th season now in the NFL, former #1 pick, Jameis Winston.
It was terrible to see Jameis Winston suffer his torn ACL last season because he had the Saints rolling in his first year running the show in New Orleans. They went 5-2 in his starts, and they were just 4-6 after he was injured. And how about this? He only threw 3 interceptions, really addressing the big concern people had from his time as a starter in Tampa. New Orleans, they plan to roll with him for a second season and hope that last year's performance will carry over in a full season.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. Simply not much more you can ask out of your running back. Over 100 yards and the 3 touchdowns.
And for an old coot like me, I loved it because he did it on the ground. A running back taking control of the game. That's what I like to see.
Hold on. An old coot?
Coot, C-O-O-T.
All right, I'll look that up later. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Winston. That's complete to Troutman, right side. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play. And 3rd and 1 now. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play. The Saints had 2-1 now to start the campaign, and they move back above 500 with a victory last week.
And you look at their start, a win, a loss, then a win. This might be something we see from them a lot this year because when they're at their best, they can play with anybody. But bringing their best every week, that's been a challenge thus far.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Again, it's Kamara. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. On play action, Winston. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
On 2nd down, Kamara. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. This defense for the Vikings, they were terrific a week ago in that win over Detroit.
Anytime you can hold a team to less than 10 points, your expectation of winning that game has to be sky high. In fact, you'd be absolutely stunned to come away with a loss in that one. Could you imagine going to the press conference and trying to explain that?
He'll get 15 and a Saints 1st down. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want their body blows all game long and finish it with uppercuts. Well, here are the body blows right now. He's hoping one uppercut will take care of the end of this drive.
A 1st down throw for Winston. Looking for Thomas, but that's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. So a 1st interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
The Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. The defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their own 37. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. So that time, Charles, a quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
That's complete to Justin Jefferson. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On third down, Cousins. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that, right?
Yeah, he said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls at work. Now,
and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Lewis Seen, and he'll bring it back to about the 5-yard line. It's such a costly interception, nearly a pick six, but now they're so close they are knocking on the door for a touchdown.
And I never want to get on any team for being aggressive because that's part of what their makeup is, and oftentimes it's successful. But in this case, you've got to be selective about it and make sure you take care of the football. That interception almost cost them 6 points. Now their defense has to run onto the field, probably giving the quarterback a few side eyes along the way. They've got to see if they can stop a score.
They'll run with Cook. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Second and goal from inside the 5. Play action now. Cousins. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Shaquem Griffin, he was relentless there as he hits home for the sack. And a nice play there defensively. And this is a new acquisition, Charles. You and I were talking about it pregame. Just signed as a free agent earlier this week.
Love when they pick up those guys with something to prove. Because any guy who's a free agent off the street, no one else wanted him. So he wants to prove to the rest of the league, you should have signed me first.
Boy, you'd hate to squander this great field position. Here's third and goal. To throw is Cousins. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. That pass play good for 7, but it still brings up a 4th and goal. Seibert able to knock this one through. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And from the end zone, Deontay Hardy will bring it out. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. And I think we'll see plenty of that as the season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted. Winston throw complete there to Thomas. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First grab for Thomas. It's good for a first down as well.
All-pro receiver Michael Thomas missed all of 2021 while recovering from an ankle injury. But we'll never forget that he set an NFL record in 2019 with 145 catches. When healthy, borderline unguardable, just like he was on that play.
And he's got some space here. And some pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. They run it again with Kamara. Andrew Booth making the tackle.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Play fake. Winston. And Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Lewis Seen. And the Vikings are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. The struggles continue here offensively. Still nothing for them on the scoreboard, and now an interception.
Yeah, the offense looks extremely sluggish, not really in sync at all. Dare I say, it looks like it got left behind in customs.
Oh, you've had that in your back pocket. You were waiting for that.
Probably should have left it in my back pocket, too.
Well played. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Following the interception, Cousins. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Cousins now. This one brought in by Jefferson. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. Throwing is Cousins. And now a loose football. The ball comes out, and this is picked up by the Saints. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
Well, my friend, this has certainly been a comedy of errors here in the 1st quarter. Neither side able to really hang on to the ball.
Yeah, now I'm just curious to see which team can adjust because both have made their mistakes, as you said.
Yeah, and whoever can do that can seize firm control of this game, something they haven't done with the ball so far.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of came from 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do.
After review of the play, ruling on the field is converted.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Cousins again. Incomplete. This is Albert Wilson. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
An incomplete pass on second down leads us to 3rd and inches. They'll run it. Here's Cook.
Brent, what were they thinking on defense there? That looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Cousins. Well, that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. Cousins to throw it. And he's got this to Jefferson. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. 23 yards on the play.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Now Cousins. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Paulson Adebo. He's got the lane, and there he goes. The 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
Lutz good on the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. With a glimpse of Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver, as he and the Minnesota Vikings return back here on offense. There's a lot of talk in training camp about him getting off to a hot start this year, saying that they needed that. Well, he's done it through the first month.
Kind of reminds me of one of those great musical groups where one person has their name out front, then they have the backups, right? He's the guy out front because the backups, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, but we're going to the headliner each and every time, and that's not easily done because you know all the defenses are kicking towards him right now. That means he's fighting his way through traffic, finding ways to get open, even when he's not supposed to be.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Running the jet sweep. This is Thielen with it. And he stopped immediately there. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. 3rd and short yardage. Cousins. Got an open man finding Jefferson. And he will have a Vikings first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Cousins. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one. Force the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. Eluding the pressure. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Marcus Davenport, the first rounder out of UTSA with a sack.
That was their third sack of the ball game. Second in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the second spot pretty soon. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. The Vikings with the football. second quarter, as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. To throw, Cousins. Open man is Thielen, is complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Throwing, Cousins. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Marcus Davenport. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's a game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Another try after the 1st down sack. Cousins. Oh, he's going up top for Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, their first 2 drives only yielded 3 points. They might be thinking it's time to make something happen. Push the ball downfield and try and gain some points that way. Unfortunately, incomplete.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And got his man complete. Touchdown, Vikings. Justin Jefferson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are able to move back in front. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. But sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. That's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And the lead is now 10-7. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it was all capped off by Justin Jefferson's touchdown reception. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. 2 fantastic games coming up to wrap up Week 4, the first weekend in October. Tonight, the Chiefs and Buccaneers from Tampa. That's a rematch of Super Bowl 55, of course. And then Monday night, rematch of last year's NFC Championship game, the Rams and Niners from Santa Clara. Coverage on that one, 8:15 Eastern. Pretty solid run here on 1st down. Almost picked up another first, but he appears to be a few inches short.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get into him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 41. A 10th carry for Kamara. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef, that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. They'll go draw here. Winston hands to Kamara. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. 3rd down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
So 1st and 2nd down went the wrong direction. They'll try to do better here on 3rd and 13. Jameis to throw it. And he's got his man on the crossing route. That's Landry. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 29-yard line. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Winston to give. It's Kamara. They find some open field here. And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. 65 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this 1st half.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Winston. Looking left side, and he's got him in. That's Thomas. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards. 2nd and 2, 1st down marker at the 8. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. That leads us to a 1st and goal. It's a pickup of 8.
Not too many more ideal situations at 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a 1st down. They ran it and picked it up.
Kamara is in. Touchdown, New Orleans.
Did my eyes deceive me, or was that an I formation play that was just run there for a touchdown?
Old school eye.
How about that? Was that a fullback, tailback, running it into the end zone?
Well, that's what that fullback's for, right? That's why you use that. Let him pave the way.
Oh, without a doubt. He's an extra blocker, and he did his job well on that play.
Alonso looked to add the extra point. And that makes it 14-10. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And the capper came from Alvin Kamara on the touchdown run. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Nwangu now from his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Justin Jefferson and the rest of this offense, they've got their helmets back on, and they're ready for this next series. Making his presence felt early in this one. 1st half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
They start the drive with Cook. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on their early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Cousins. Looking left sideline, incomplete. Tight end Irv Smith, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Now Jordan Berry on to kick this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. On the return, Hardy. So a change of possession here on the punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. Alvin Kamara and the Saints set to start their next drive. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. 88 yards rushing now for Kamara. It's a 1st down.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Play action now, Winston. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And this time not quite to the 30. He'll be down at the 31-yard line.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And he's got the hook up to Landry. And he is going to have a Saints 1st down as he'll be marked down a yard or 2 past the marker following a gain of 6.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the 1st down. And that's what he just did.
A give to Kamara running right. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description, because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Chandon Sullivan. And the Vikings will take over here at their own 14-yard line. Well, CD, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, and instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared, had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. Complete. Jefferson the target. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. First play of the drive going for 14 and a 1st down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Cousins on 1st down. And he'll just get rid of it.
No sense risking anything there on first down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who can make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
To throw again on second down, Cousins. He's going to find Jefferson open downfield. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. It's a gain of 34. But one thing's for sure, they're going to have to come up with something at halftime because he is absolutely roasting them right now.
They're going to go through the whole litany of things, changing coverages, what are we going to do to put a man on him? The big thing to me is treat it like a good pitcher treats pitching a game. Change your timing, change your location. So sometimes you're up on him, sometimes you're back. Just change up the looks that he sees and make him just a little bit more hesitant.
To the air again, it's Cousins. Lets it fly for Thielen. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Adam Thielen with career touchdown number 60.
And the Vikings have yet again retaken the lead.
The fly route works for the TD grab.
And the receivers love to say, if we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did all the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
Seibert on for the PAT. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. A drive there of just 4 plays.
And it ends with a touchdown pass to Adam Thielen.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
From the 6. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
Michael Thomas now heading back onto the field. You would have to think they're going to make it more of a priority to get him the football. You're losing here in the second quarter, and he's been really quiet.
I think all we have to do, and it's too bad we can't actually see the actual play sheet now from the coordinator, because he's looking down at that and saying, okay, do I put him in different spots? Do I try and isolate him? What routes do I run? You're exactly right. They've got to get the ball in his hands and get their offense kick-started.
He does have the 2 catches, but pretty quiet so far. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Winston.
And boy, another ill-advised throw there, as that will wind up incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
On 3rd down, Winston. And he rifles it, complete, caught by Landry. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 41-yard line. A big 3rd down pickup of 20 yards.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 41. Here's Winston.
He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Here's 2nd and a yard.
Back to the ground. It's Kamara. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line.
116 yards rushing for him now as he's toted it 21 times.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone. staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Winston. Touchdown, Saints. Michael Thomas. His 5th touchdown now on the year. As they have taken the lead. Those are the touchdowns that aren't just scored on Sundays or on Monday night. Those are the ones that are scored during the week because they had that preparation and a great route run.
Oh, I love that observation because you don't just roll out on game day and say, okay, go run this route and let's get it done. That means exactly what you said. The practice had to occur beforehand, which led to the timing, which led to the touchdown.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. It's up and good to make it 21-17. So that drive goes 8 plays.
And it's Michael Thomas who ends it with a touchdown reception.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive.
And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to just...
Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And he's into the end zone. A fumble return and a Saint touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score, and a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower post-game. Lutz will look to add the extra point. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way. The fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession.
And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Well, sometimes an incompletion is the right play, and he showed that he's learned from his earlier interception on that throw. Instead of forcing it, he just tossed it away.
Cousins throw complete to his receiver, Thielen.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Now Cousins. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
time in this game, Charles, the ball is squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
Here's Jordan Berry now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here's Hardy set to return. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent. The blocking's been terrific. And obviously his vision and legs have hurtled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On 1st and 10, Winston.
The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Winston over the middle into the hands of Michael Thomas.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up.
And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked off by Chandon Sullivan. And the Vikings are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. CD, when he went to throw that, I'm not sure if he just didn't see where the defense was. Whatever the case, not the throw you're looking for on 1st and goal.
Not at all because, look, let's face it, that close to the goal line, if you throw an interception, is going to hurt on any down. But really the only down you can kind of live with is if you do it on 4th down. The first 3, if you don't have it wide open, just get rid of it. Make sure they can't get it and live to fight another down. 1st and goal and you throw the pick, not good at all.
He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, let's take a look around the NFL here on this first Sunday of October. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. With that, we take a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Vikings. And it's been the passing game that's been the story. They have feasted on the secondary to the tune of 200-plus yards already through 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Saints, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. With both of these offenses having their way, it's not likely they'll need to be doing a whole lot at halftime. But the defenses are definitely in need of some adjusting. And for the call of the second half, let's go back out to Brandon and Charles.
Yeah, Coach, certainly no In those first 2 quarters, definitely got to work on my touchdown calls, so we'll see how much voice I have left for the second half here. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. So here are the Saints to take over. They've got the lead right now. You remember last week they defeated the Carolina Panthers here. Good momentum. Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. He'll start with a give to Kamara. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be second down. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And his throw is incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Throw left side complete. That's Hardy. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
They go play action. Winston. It's caught inside the 25. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. It's a gain of 34.
Frankly, I don't know that this defense knows what to do anymore. Just look at their body language out there. The passing game has absolutely been relentless throughout.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Kamara trying the right side. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Kamara up the middle. And able to work his way down to the 16. 131 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. Here's the 7th play of this drive. This is 3rd and 4. Here's Winston. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
That's not the first time they've gone his way on this drive, and they were obviously keyed into him because they were there to help break that pass up.
Winston to the sideline here on 4th down, and Will Lutz gets set for a New Orleans field goal try. The kick by Lutz is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well, and kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going. Trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the 3rd quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
Meanwhile, Cousins' throw here going to be caught by Wilson. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. Oh, he's got a little daylight.
And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47.
17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Now an end around as Cousins will just pop this forward.
Oh, good move. Yeah, he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Cousins. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Cousins.
And he's got this to Jefferson.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. They run the counter with Cook. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
Well, it's tough time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
They try again with Cook. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings.
Dalvin Cook, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have got it back to within a score. So a strong drive here to lead off this 3rd quarter and gets them right back in this football game.
And I think we can safely call that a statement drive because they had to be saying, we have put our best foot forward in the first half, but we certainly mean business now. Maybe a better term, a prove-it drive. They proved it to themselves that they were ready to go.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown. So that one an 8-play drive. It spans 75 yards. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone.
Oh, good return up past the 30. Past midfield. There he goes, left side. And he will score. Touchdown, Saints. It's been a back-and-forth game, a lot of points on the board, and that return right there kind of indicative of how this thing's going.
Now, you've seen both teams go at it, and as you just pointed out, both of them have found the end zone. But just like in boxing, you know the blow that hurts the most? The one you didn't see coming, and that often is the case when it comes in special teams.
Bloods to try to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. And no doubt one of the most, if not the most exciting play we'll see in this game. The kick return all the way to the end zone for 6 points. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25.
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field.
A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they looked up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They run it again with Cook. Takes this to the 27, give him 4 yards.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Good clean play, no flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion, and that should get them off the field with a 3 and out.
Here's Jordan Berry now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is fielded at the 27. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
And this shot downfield on 2nd down is brought in. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. It's a gain of 34.
I'm seeing a lot of guys shaking their heads on defense right now, particularly in the secondary. And when you see that going on, that is never a good sign. But it's understandable. They've been shredded so far.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Here's Kamara off the draw. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Now that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
And the Saints are going to have it 1st and goal as they'll take this down to about the 3.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
To throw, Winston. And now here's another interception. Picked up by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. He's at the 50, the 30, 10, 5, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So that potentially a turning point here this 3rd quarter. A 2-score lead down to 1 now following the pick 6.
And that had to be the message at halftime for this defense, delivered and accepted. We need to go out there and make something happen.
Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. Alvin Kamara and the Saints set to start their next drive. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the one touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the third quarter. Now, he tries to keep the legs churning, but he's going to be stopped behind the line. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Working out of the gun, Winston. That is hauled in by Michael Thomas. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Winston to Thomas, and it's a New Orleans first down.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
They'll run out of the gun with Kamara, and he'll push his way forward to about the 32. Stop made there by Brian Asamoah. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They run it again with Kamara. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Jameis to throw it. And my goodness, another interception. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. They were in the dime. They had 6 defensive backs there, so go ahead and throw it. He threw it, and it hurt him.
It's almost turned into a blanket of coverage, isn't it? You talk about the best defenders you have are the defensive backs. 6 of them on the field. You're almost asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they ran into. Ended up throwing a pick six.
Yeah, 6 defenders and 6 points. Seibert on for the PAT. And that will tie our game here in the third quarter. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll... the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. We've seen him be good so far. He's hoping to continue that trend here in quarter number 3.
And typically when you see guys running it this well, they see the game in slow motion, don't they? They see the cuts happen, they see the blocks happen, they feel really good about their vision, and then they use their legs to find that open space.
And he's had some good help up front to boot. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Vikings slow to get up. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Winston now. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Time timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things.
And now here is another interception. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Following the interception, Cousins. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
Well, they certainly knew their challenge as this series began, and they got to stop on play number 1. Goal now, get 2 more stops and limit the damage to a field goal.
Now a throw here, hold in. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Cousins now. And his pass incomplete. He was out there waving his arm saying throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much.
And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Marcus Davenport able to record his 5th sack of the season. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in 1 game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. They'll look to throw. And it's caught in the end zone for the Viking touchdown by Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon as his guys have now moved out in front.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead now. So that... plays.
And it was all capped off by Justin Jefferson's touchdown reception.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
This taken in at the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. The New Orleans offense set to take over.
And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. First try for the right arm of Dalton here. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara.
And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Partner, normally double coverage is reserved for receivers or tight ends, but this time they actually targeted the running back with it, and it still wasn't enough. He attacked the defense and got in a great position to haul in the catch and get a nice gain out of it.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
2nd down, and it's Kamara again.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Play fake. Here's Dalton. And that is incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
They'll try on 4th. Here's Dalton.
Open man is the tight end Troutman. And he is going to have the Saints first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive.
That's a 4th down pickup of 10 yards and an opportunity certainly missed on the defensive side.
So the drive stays alive after the 4th down conversion. 1st and 10 inside the 30.
A give. This is Kamara.
And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17.
So both offenses come to life here in this 3rd quarter as this is shaping up for a good finish. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Again, it's Kamara. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Saints are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. We are set up for a fantastic finish now. A 4th-quarter touchdown here, and we're an extra point away from a tie football game.
And I know they're thinking about possibly going for 2, but I'd go ahead and kick this one and just get it back to level.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And no sweat. He puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And the capper came from Alvin Kamara on the touchdown run. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
And now out comes Minnesota.
They no longer have the lead after that last touchdown, all tied up in the 4th quarter, and a chance for this offense to mount a potential game-winning drive right here.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 24.
He'll start by handing it off to Dalvin Cook.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the 1st. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Man, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, if they want to ride him down the stretch, he should have fresh legs.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Give to Cook out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Tackle is yards to the 45. Yards to the 45. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And this is going to be intercepted. Now he's hit on the return. It's a loose football.
And the Saints are in great shape here as they take over at the 46-yard line.
Well, so much for the 4-minute offense. They were trying to reduce the clock, get in position to win the game, and leave no time for them to come back and catch them. And guess what? They turned the ball over. Yeah, I mean, they had it all set up for themselves, and they let it get away.
And now the Saints get set to trot out there.
And the question, can they turn that interception into points? A tie game for the moment in the 4th quarter. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure.
The previous play is under review.
And the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
So that challenge, a successful one.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try and grab that lead back.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Here's Dalton.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
Dalton here from the gun. Open man is Michael Thomas. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. That catch, by the way, number 542 in his NFL career. That draws him level with Lance Allworth, who was a Hall of Famer with the Chargers back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, the man they called Bambi. So if you're in that type of territory, catch the same number of passes he caught, you know you're on your way to a big-time career. And just think, he's not through yet.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And this is going to be intercepted.
Andrew Booth picks it off. And the Vikings are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line. Well, these defensive coaches, they sure like what they've got in this rookie corner, and with good reason, as you saw there.
He only cost him a day 2 pick, and a lot of people thought he had first-round ability. But when he was available on draft night, that was one where you didn't need the full time to make the selection. You call that pick in early, and he shows why he was so coveted with that interception there.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at about the 32. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive.
Complete. Jefferson to target.
They'll give him 4 yards there, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Throwing, Cousins. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And he's taken down here by the Saints.
Well, this is getting ridiculous. 8 sacks now. That time multiple guys get to it.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has now received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Here's Jordan Berry now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. It's taken to the 26. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10. They'll run. This is Kamara. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Here's Dalton. He gets it to Thomas.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
And partner, in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a run for Kamara. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
Another carry for their leader, and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
run it up the middle with Kamara. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. A field goal could get them the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. Throwing, Dalton. And this is going to be intercepted.
Picked by the linebacker, Brian Asamoah. And the Vikings are going to take over at their own 13-yard line.
That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 13. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down. Keep in mind, if you're thinking of staying on the ground, this is a top 5 rush defense.
Yeah, but I don't think you shy away totally with the run. At least show them the hint of a run before you decide to throw the football.
Here's Cook again.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
And then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. So possession goes over here on the punt. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. On the ground, Kamara. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Dalton.
They'll get this out to Kamara. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to break our 4th quarter tie. The kick by Lutz is good, and they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter. You talk about a big kick under pressure in the 4th quarter. I mean, that wasn't like a 33-yarder. That was long distance.
Not only does it show the faith that they have in him, but also remember, if they'd missed that one, they're giving up the ball near midfield, so they had to be very confident that he was going to put that one through the post.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away.
And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return.
The Vikings offense now heading out to take over.
And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this fourth quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game.
Cousins. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Cousins over the middle, and it's a fumble. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
They'll be hoping to work a little clock and try to add on to this slim fourth quarter lead. But whatever happens on this drive, certainly a huge fumble recovery by their defense at this juncture.
A give to Kamara running right. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used.
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted.
Andrew Booth picks it up. And the Vikings are right back in this football game.
A critical error there in a tight game in the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
A little jet sweep to start the drive.
And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big, or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And, he took that thing one-handed. What a grab. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12.
Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Cousins. And that is incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Here's Jordan Berry now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Let's take it inside his own 40. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10.
The New Orleans offense set to take over.
A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough 1st first downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. This a very important drive, and that incompletion leads to a very important third down here if they're going to try and get the football back.
Yeah, getting it back, absolutely crucial to their chances to try and win this game. I would expect a lot.
Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's in.
Picked off by Chandon Sullivan.
And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
with the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession. A golden opportunity for them now following the interception. They need to try to at least get 3. Obviously, a touchdown puts them in a much more secure position.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Cousins. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Cameron Jordan in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint, as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Setting up the screen for Cook.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
1st down now, but the clock continues to move.
That's complete to Smith-Marset.
And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Cousins to throw.
Oh, that's going to be a costly one. It's intercepted.
Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. When you talk about making winning plays, that is a winning play at this stage of the game. To come up with that interception, huge.
I like how you identified that, because most people think winning plays are the offense trying to get it done. In this case, nursing a lead, they found a way to make a play on that side of the ball and maybe finish things off.
Trying to run down some clock with Kamara. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here.
Winston to give. It's Kamara.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense, as it comes with 1:25 left to go in the contest. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Here's Winston. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted.
Andrew Booth picks it off.
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Cyber run for the PAT. And that will make this a 4-point game. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Fielded just outside the goal line.
Winston readies the offense. Down by 4. 1:13 to play. How costly of an interception will that be? It's time to find out. 1st and 10. Now Winston. A throw over the middle, taken in by Troutman. And we've reached the 1-minute mark in this game. On second down, Kamara. The Saints first down there on a gain of 11. Now a timeout called for by the offense as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Winston to throw. That is hauled in by Michael Thomas. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Winston. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow, wow.
What a game this has been, and what a drive that was, Charles, to take the lead here late in the 4th quarter.
And partner, that's a job well done by everyone, from the players to the guys calling the plays. And if I may introduce just one downside to the mix, might be a little bit too much time left. Enough on the clock for a final last-ditch effort to try and steal this win away.
Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. So that drive, 4 plays. And it's capped off by the late touchdown that puts him out in front here in the final minute of the contest. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. And out now come the Vikings.
Here comes another drive from this unit, and Charles, they're coming off a costly mistake on the last possession, an interception in a game that is very close right now.
Well, as we know, they all sting no matter what the situation, but in a one-possession game, that'll hurt a little bit more. But this is an excellent opportunity to make up for it on this drive. I just don't expect them to try and take huge gambles to make up that momentum in a hurry.
Cousins trying to get his guys up to the line of scrimmage quickly. Back to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. He was trying to find Justin Jefferson there, but now it'll be 3rd down. Now Cousins. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch. Just got to be prepared, stay on your feet defensively, and tackle someone.
He's going to let it fly.
And that went a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete. Another one in the books for his partner. Always great to be by your side. And both offenses, both defenses had some moments in this one, but I think you would agree these coaching staffs are also going to have some stuff to clean up on film.
Absolutely, partner. Let's face it. Any game we get to watch from up here, it's going to be a blast. Do we want to get a real job? Absolutely not. Let's keep watching the NFL all season long.
So for New Orleans, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against the Chicago Bears.